Hello, everyone, again. Morning, afternoon, evening, what part of the world you are. It's the Pro Unitati podcast. As usual, my name is David Erebo, CEO TNN, the New Nigerian for short. I have an esteemed guest with me today, Mr. Uche Nnoli. Uche is the global president, or the current global president, Federal Government College, Ugwolawo. I think Ugwolawo is in Benue State, if I'm correct. I might be wrong. He'll tell us a bit about it.
Yeah.
Uche is a management system consultant with over 20 years experience in business process management, compliance, and risk management. He is a British Standard Institution certified lead auditor for ISO 9001. He's a quality management, I think it's a quality management system. Uche is a successful, he has a successful, I beg your pardon, I'll retake that again. He has successfully led organizational restructuring and business systems transformation projects for several multi-sectoral clients and has provided faculty leadership for the development of ISO management systems. ISO management systems, Uche, tell me, what are ISO management systems?
So ISO management systems are systems standards that are normally published by the International Organization for Standardization, which is a multilateral organization with over 172 countries affiliated to it, driving issues relating to standardization in several aspects of human endeavor across the world. So the International Organization for Standardization is fundamentally responsible for publishing international standards on a basis of consensus by affiliated countries. And their standards are the most widely used standards and widely accepted standards across the world. So they have standards on quality management, environmental management, occupational health and safety, information security, laboratory management, and over 19,500 standards have been published by the ISO since 1951 to date.
ISO means International Standards Organization.
International Organization for Standardization.
International Organization for Standardization. I've learned something new today. Tell us a bit about your early childhood, your early upbringing before you went into Federal Government College Ugwolawo. Tell us about the first day in Ugwolawo, your experiences through Ugwolawo, and what pushed you in that school to become who you are today.
Okay, fantastic, and thank you for having me on this program. I was born in Enugu, which is one of the major cities in eastern Nigeria, predominantly Igbo, born to a middle-class family. And but one thing my parents were very passionate about was the education of their children. And so they wanted the very best for us. I actually attended a public primary school, which at the time was one of the best in the old Anambra State. And that primary school provided the basis for us to be able to compete with other children from across Nigeria when it was time for common entrance. So in selecting the choices of schools I would attend, my parents advised on Enugu and Ugwolawo. Ugwolawo was about 4 hours drive from Enugu at the time. But one of my dad's friends, his son was in FGC Ugwolawo, and they had a lot of fantastic things to say about the school. So FGC Ugwolawo was selected as one of my choices. So when the results came out, I was posted to Ugwolawo. So I was excited. I was going to leave home for the first time at about 11 years. I was 11 at the time. So when we arrived at Ugwolawo, I started feeling homesick even through the journey. So I started playing all kinds of pranks, like we can just go and register, then come back home, then later I will now go and resume. So my mom was the one who took me. So by the time we finished our registration and everything, and my mom, they just did a U-turn and they were driving out. I couldn't believe my eyes that my mom, with all the tantrums and all the scheming I was doing, that my mom will abandon me in such a far place and be driving back home. So I started crying, until I met Amadi, who was my friend from primary school. So immediately he saw me, he asked me, why am I crying now? Have I gotten my corner? Have I gotten this? Immediately I said, Chidiogo, are you here? He said, yes, that he's here too. And there are other guys from our school that is also here. So he just called me. Immediately I had to clean my eyes because I didn't want to see my mate seeing me cry.
Yeah.
So from then, we now started meeting people. You saw Nigerians from all walks of life. For the first time in my life, I was seeing people from Sokoto, Kaduna, Benin, Ibadan. The entire spectrum of Nigeria's cultural background. It was a melting pot sort of, and it's an experience that we'll not forget. So immediately you saw young people like you from other places. You just know that, come, I'm not in this alone, so you have to man up and take it one day at a time. So that's exactly how we landed in Ugwolawo.
Brilliant. The school, from what you knew it as and how it is today, as the global president of the alumni, tell us the differences, tell us how you are helping to mentor the current crop of students within Ugwolawo.
Okay, so when we were in Ugwolawo, a lot of things have happened, like we all say in Nigerian parlance, that Nigeria has happened also to the public education system in Nigeria. When we were in Ugwolawo, we could boast that we had the best education available in the British Commonwealth. We had the best teachers you could find in Nigeria, from mathematics to physics to chemistry and otherwise. But today, one of the critical challenges we face in our alumni associations relating to our alma maters is that there appears now to be a paucity of quality teachers covering all subjects. In some schools, you now see alumni associations trying to fund part-time teachers, pay some kind of incentives to even youth corpers to agree to serve in those places. And these issues are not isolated from the general degradation that's taking place in Nigerian society, from corruption to insecurity, which has even affected how willing people are to travel to various parts of the country where they are not very conversant with. So when we were in Ugwolawo, people were posted from FGC Sokoto, teachers, you can see a principal in FGC Sokoto being transferred to FGC Enugu. You can see somebody from FGC Akure being transferred to FGC Port Harcourt. And so we had the privilege of having the best teachers in the country, rotating themselves from school to school, imparting knowledge, and providing the diversity that was very important for child development. Today, we don't see that. While we might not have had the best state-of-the-art facilities in Ugwolawo that time, I remember that we could still complain about some windows missing and all of that, but the situation has gone from bad to worse today. So even regular power supply is a challenge in some schools. I know that in Ugwolawo, we've had to donate generators to the school at some point. We've had to drill boreholes just to even make sure that the students have access to pipe-borne water. We've renovated kitchen, which was dilapidated and very poorly equipped. In terms of mentoring students, from time to time, we organize career programs. When security was not an issue, we used to travel to our school every 2 years, to have a session with the students, eat with them in their dining, experience the school as they experience it today, so that we can actually have a hands-on experience of what's going on in the school, what the deficiencies are, and what the challenges the students are having, So we go to the school, visit them in their hostels, have lunch with them and dining so that we can be able to be on the ground and identify what the issues are, and then see how we deal with them on an ongoing basis. So I would say generally that the public education system in Nigeria it has degraded over the last 20, 30 years significantly. We can't boast of the quality of teachers we used to have. And also because of security concerns, even teachers and even parents are less willing to allow their wards to travel far away from home, to go to these federal government colleges. So the idea of diversity is significantly challenged. So if you go to most of the federal government colleges now, you see people from the same ethnic group around where the school is located, rather than what you used to have 20, 30 years ago, when you saw children from all walks of life gathering together, in the true Nigerian spirit.
So being an alumni leader is a selfless service. You don't get paid for it. I'm very impressed with the little bit your association is doing for your alma mater. I think a friend of mine, the previous president general of OSA, went to Ugwolawo, Chief Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence Weber.
Yeah. Did his brother go there as well? I know he had a brother.
Yeah, Nelson, about 4 of them.
About 4 of them. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, why did you decide that you wanted to go into this leadership position? What attracted you to it, and why have you decided to give back through leadership? So,
I'm a product of public sector education, from primary school to university. I didn't have to go to any private school. I attended the Ekulu Primary School in GRA in Ugu, which was public owned. I attended the Federal Government College Ugwolawo, from where I proceeded to Nnoli University. So you see, the only opportunity for the poor, to level up with the middle class and the rich is education. So under the watch of the political class in Nigeria, the public sector education has become comatose. And no matter how you look at it, your pedigree, including your professional pedigree, would depend largely on the schools that you attended. When you drop your CV anywhere, the first thing people are looking at is the quality of the schools you attended and probably the quality of the results you were able to achieve. So that was the first call to action, the need to give back. Now, having benefited from this process, which has helped us to become who we are today, we cannot just walk away. There is time for us to give back to our country that invested so much in us. I can't remember any school fees I paid in Ugwolawo being more than 105 naira. Right?
Yes.
So we went to school practically free of charge. So that was the first instinct, to see what we can do, rally together as alumni of our alma mater, and see what we can do to support the school. Then, very importantly, some of the most profound relationships you build in your life were built in your secondary school, your period in secondary school. So there was this strong need to reconnect with your background, your childhood, see who is where, who is doing what, and see how we collaborate on that basis to support one another. So membership welfare was also a very critical aspect. And of course, there is no gainsaying that in our generation, talking of those who were in secondary school 20, 30 years back, the most promising talents in Nigeria were in federal government colleges. So from the selfish perspective, that network also provides a lot of empowerment and enablement for and access to life enhancement opportunities, access to people, access to institutions, which can also make life, your access to opportunities a bit faster than if you do not have access to the network. So these were the 3 driving pillars of our vision when we came together to, our association was registered sometime in 2007. Then by 2009, the Lagos chapter took root, and of course, leadership always starts from Lagos. So once Lagos is able to come alive, it begins to inject life into other centers of alumni activity. So immediately Lagos came up. From there, we started springing out to different cities: Kaduna, Lokoja, Eda, Enugu, Benin, Asaba. So presently we have 11 functional chapters. That's 10 in Nigeria, and then 1 in the United States of America. And we're still building on that.
Wow. What you said is quite profound. The leveler between the poor, the middle class, and the rich is education. That is proper value. So the audience, you can hear that. To get to where you need to be, you have to have education. You are also a very strong member of USOSA. Like we just talked about, the past president general of USOSA was from your alma mater. Why USOSA? I know you've talked about the need to meet people, the need to network, but what is the strong bond between Ugwolawo and USOSA? How long have you been involved in USOSA? What have you seen USOSA do? What were the processes of USOSA from when you became involved with them until now?
Okay, so USOSA is basically the umbrella organization for alumni associations of federal government colleges, unity colleges, as they are well known. So when we got Ugwolawo off the ground, someone now attended a meeting somewhere. One of our alumni attended a meeting somewhere in Ikoyi where he was invited by another Unity School alumni and alumnus, and then he came back and told us, come, people from other federal government colleges are meeting somewhere under an umbrella of another association and all of that. And so we automatically were excited because, federal government colleges did not operate in isolation. Even when we were back in school, we had inter-school activities, we had regional games, Waibu, Kaipo, Owego, and all of those. So we were just excited to say, so there's an association that brings everybody together. So let's go and let's see what's going on there. And so when we went there, we saw more than we even anticipated. The level of passion, the late Albert Okumagba, fantastic leader, exceptional visionaire. He was the one that was trying to rally people together, to say, come, we need to build a movement out of this, And so immediately, it was not difficult for Ugwolawo to immediately align with the vision of USOSA. Number one, it provides the opportunity for synergy. So whatever we are trying to achieve in the public sector space, working together with alumni of alumni associations from other federal government colleges was only going to help to amplify our voices and improve our impacts in whatever advocacy we are carrying on. And then, of course, coming together also under the USOSA umbrella helped to project us better, in society and to government, to the authorities in government. You can see the fantastic job that the PG Mike Magaji has been doing, engaging with policymakers, knocking on doors at federal government level. The immediate past President General Lawrence Webert also made a presentation at Nigerian Senate at some time. And working together, we've been able to secure a seat for USOSA at the Federal Ministry of Education, which means that USOSA is a recognized stakeholder today in the education space in Nigeria. And all these are benefits of working together, sharing resources, sharing perspectives, bringing people together to be able to work for one cause. And we also need to recognize the fact that the whole concept of unity schools is the basis for the future of Nigeria, the future unity of Nigeria, progress of Nigeria. So coming together, the coming together of alumni associations from over 110 federal government colleges is a significant step forward in building that movement. Now, talking about when we joined, USOSA had central coordination. The only times we met, we are doing plenaries or doing AGMs. But then this idea of how do we build city forums so that Usosans in each city can start interacting and all of that. That idea came when President, in the past PG, President Lawrence Wilbert was in office. And a few people were skeptical because, once something begins to proliferate, the tendency for breakups, for division lines are there and all of that. So some people were a bit skeptical about the idea, but quite a number of us were positive that was the way to go. So the late David Oyarebu, who became the first person to start building a community in Port Harcourt, he did a fantastic job of it. And immediately Port Harcourt succeeded, it became imperative that we had to move the idea to other cities. And I'm very excited today from Asaba to Kaduna, from Uyo to Port Harcourt, from up to Canada, and we are now going to the United States and even the UK. The Canada was actually the second offshore plenary for USOSA. So USOSA has transformed in the last couple of years, thanks to very effective leadership from Lawrence Wilbert and Mike Magaji led ESCOs.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. I remember you attending the Canada plenary. Again, this fulfills the purpose of Unity Schools, at least in our generation and before us. So, which means USOSA is bringing us all together again, reviving that unity, reviving that purpose, and like you said, making us a powerful force that can influence not just education, but various aspects of life in Nigeria. Again, I'm going to go back to what you said about the products of these schools. We have fantastic doctors, we have fantastic lawyers, engineers. In fact, you read geology in the Nnamdi Azikiwe University in Awka. You've also been able to work in the banking industry. Tell us a bit about your university days, what stood out for you. Tell us a bit about your young life when you were working in the banking industry.
Okay, so I gained admission to study civil engineering, but later I was not quite sure. I started thinking, I didn't even think I wanted to be a science student. So I wanted to actually change department from civil engineering to law. But I didn't study arts. I did pure sciences in secondary school, technical drawing, further maths, physics, chemistry, and all of those. So when I tried to go to law faculty, they told me I needed literature, government, and all of those. So I now said, okay, so the only option I had was to either I pull out from university and go and write WAEC fresh, or I just make do with the science I think I can enjoy studying. So my best subject in secondary school was geography. So I decided, okay, if I'm going to be in sciences, let me study something that has to do with geography. So that I went to geology department, made the inquiries, checked their course outlines, and then I made the switch. So Nnamdi Azikiwe University was eventful. Then student unionism was very active. So I was very active in student union politics in the university, And then it was exciting. That was also where I met my wife, So university paid me off in several ways. I had my life partner from the same school. So we met when we were young and we remained friends since then. We eventually got married. So she also attended Federal Government College Okigwe. So she's also an USOSA.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me, university was a place where I honed my leadership skills, providing leadership at the departmental level, engaging with student union organs, and all of those. It also exposed me to the world of business because the first businesses I set up were as students in the university as well, trying to toy with our ideas. When people are young, they're very idealistic. you're sent to school to study, and then you start chasing all sorts of things.
Absolutely.
But I think in all, those experiences help to strengthen us and prepare us for the life outside university. So that's the highlight of my
I'm interested.
career.
I'm interested in hearing about that business you tried to set up. For others who are listening.
Okay, so we were in school one time, and it appeared like school. Me and a few of my friends, we are just taking a walk, and we're like, school is boring. Nothing is happening in school. Why do we think that is the case? And then somebody just said that most of the guys that used to organize shows, social variety nights, and all of those in school, that they were in final year and are preparing for their final exams, and that's why nothing is going on in school.
Right.
So immediately, someone now said that, come, this is a gap. This is a business opportunity for us to step. Is an opportunity for us to step into that gap. So what do we do? And we just sat down one place and we started thinking, what do we do? How can we organize an event and take up that space? So we there and then came up with a name of a company. We called it the New Era Production. And we said, okay, how much do we need to do a show? We started working on a budget, and at the end of the day, we came up with a budget and said, okay, can we all pull from our pocket money, whatever we can, to fund this budget? And we were about 4 or 5 of us. And so we went on to organize the event. But in showbiz, you don't, showbiz thrives on confidence. So if you're a first timer, people might not have all the confidence that they want to attend your event. So, and we were in second year, most of us were in second year at the time. So we decided that we'll do our adverts at night. So at night, we'll come out and paste posters around school, advertising the events. And then during the day, we'll just stay away and watch people respond to the adverts that were posted at night. So that's how we advertised the event. And then that day, everybody came out, the hall was full. And there were artists from all over the Southeast. We brought people from, in fact, Two-Face Idibia, Blackface, Nigan Raw, MC Loaf. Those were the people that were controlling the entertainment sector in Southeast at the time. They were all at that event, and it was a big one. And so from then onwards, we started organizing more events and even became consultants to the Students' Union government, organizing Students' Week events and all of those. And for those, we are earning fees for the work we are doing. So it was exciting, not having to depend on your parents, and learning how to make some money on your own while not depending on your parents. But it was also a bit distracting because we had to leave school a lot of times to run around for the logistics of those events and all of those. But it was a very rewarding experience.
You graduated. You did your youth service, I suppose, and then you had a spell in the banking industry. Where did you serve? Again,
So I served.
Go on.
Yeah, tell me. Okay, I served in Lagos State.
Okay.
Yeah, I served in Lagos State with a company called Venture Trust. Venture Trust Nigeria Limited. It was a subsidiary of the Universal Trust Bank.
Right.
I actually started my NYSC with New Nigerian Bank.
Right.
And but I was attending all kinds of interviews, writing aptitude tests, any aptitude test I could see. So I got an offer from Venture Trust, which was double what New Nigerian Bank was paying me at the time as a corper. So I had to move to New Nigerian Bank. I had to move to Venture Trust. So by the time I finished my NYSC, I was retained there. But within 2 months, I got an offer to join First Atlantic Bank as an executive trainee. So that took me back to Onitsha because I was posted to Onitsha where my banking career formally started. Then subsequently, I joined the Oceanic Bank where I also worked. Of course, First Atlantic Bank later became Finbank. And then later, when we now left and joined the Oceanic Bank, which was later taken over by EcoBank as well. So by 2012, I left EcoBank to now set up my company and ventured into management systems consulting, which is what I do up till now.
The management consulting. So,
yeah. In
essence, the experience you gained from the unions in school, the experience you gained in the banking industry prepared you for your leadership position that you are right now. So, again, tell me, your school has events coming up, I believe. Can you emphasize on that for any Ugwolawo old student member listening now, what the plans are, what you need from them, especially the ones in diaspora, and how you intend to make the event a success?
Okay, so in FGC Ugwolawo, we normally have our global reunions every 2 years. But after the last one in 2018, the next one was supposed to be 2020 in Benin. But the COVID outbreak meant that we had to cancel that event. And since after COVID, we have not been able to put together a global reunion. So upon my election in October last year, I prioritized the reconvention of that global reunion. So the global reunion is an opportunity for alumni of FGC Ugwolawo across the world to gather under one roof, re-energize the association, re-evaluate our vision for our alumni association, commitment to our alma mater. It's an opportunity to rekindle old relationships and forge new alliances. And so we are looking at, after 7 years of no global reunion, that the one coming up in Benin from 27th to 29th November 2025 is going to be the biggest and the largest global reunion in the history of our association. We already have people booking their tickets from different parts of the world and across Nigeria and all that, where fundraising is in full force. All the sets are falling behind the program as we speak. But the big deal out of the global reunion for 2025 is that we are planning to launch an FGC Ugwolawo Old Students Association Project and Welfare Fund, which we target to raise about 600 million naira and to support a sustainable approach to welfare and project intervention in our school. So that is where we've been calling on all our members and friends from across the world to support in that direction. The whole idea is to be able to put money together, which will invest in a trust, and then the proceeds of the trust become the resources we now use to facilitate project give backs to the school in a more coordinated and more sustainable way, and also carry out welfare interventions in the lives of our members on a need-to-do basis. People run into life crises from time to time, sometimes medical or otherwise. So as an alumni association, we are very passionate about our member welfare. And so we want to also grow the capacity to be able to deal with these issues on an ongoing basis. And so that's where we are rallying all FGC Ugwolawo alumni to fall behind the program. The event is starting on 27th in Benin. Fantastic programs have been mapped out. Benin is a fantastic ancient city with a lot of cultural highlights. So we're going to be seeing a lot of historic places in Benin, and we're going to be having a fantastic time together in a gala night in Benin City. And the venue is already sorted out. The Global Organizing Committee is working around the clock to make sure we all have a fantastic time in Benin. So Usosa community will be also invited. So our friends from Usosa and other schools will also be invited to come and enjoy that period with us. But the key takeaway from that event is that we want to, launch a 600 million naira trust fund to support project give back and welfare interventions within the Alumni Association.
Very brilliant, very interesting. It's something to look forward to. So for all alumni of Ugwolawo in diaspora or who listen to this podcast, please remember to contribute your tiny bit and be in Benin for the event. For those wondering why I'm hosting today's episode 17 on my own, Uchenna just reminded me where Chioma, your usual hostess, is. Chioma is in Benin at the moment, attending a function. Unfortunately, that's why she can't be with us today. So when you mentioned Benin, I just felt it necessary to let the audience know that this is a one-off. Chioma will be back in time for next week. And hopefully when we have part 2, Uchenna will be able to tell us how successful the event was, how much they've raised so far, and what they're using the funds for. Let me go back to Usosa. Sorry, you were going to say something. Feel free.
I just say thank you.
Let me go back to Usosa. The President General is, as you know, pushing a drive towards improving education, not just education, also technology. He's somewhat bridging the gap between Usosa and technology. They've introduced the smart classrooms through a company, and I understand that a few of the schools, obviously the exco of the alumni, have tried these smart classrooms. Have you heard of it? Have you got in touch with them? Is this something you're looking to partake in? Because again, as we improve ourselves, we aim to improve our alma maters. Obviously, the function you're going to have in Benin will help contribute towards possibly trying it. But what progress have you made in that direction?
Okay, so we're excited about the advent of new technology, especially digital technology that enables students to learn digitally, and even be able to connect with teaching materials and study materials in forms from classrooms. FGC and Ugwolawo recently indicated that they had been able to equip, I think, one class, or about, I think they said 26 classes or something. And then recently I attended a King's College event where the issue of the role of technology and digital technology in the future of education was exhaustively discussed. So that is the future, and that's why I think that President General Mike Magaji is doing a fantastic job, using the social platform to drive this. So it's something that the alumni of Federal Government College Ugwolawo is very interested in. We've not taken a step forward in terms of acquiring, but I'm sure that after the global reunion, that will be one of the give back projects that we'll be eyeing, in terms of making sure that also that the students in Ugwolawo are not left behind in the digital evolution that is going on. Because without digital education, you cannot compete in today's world. With the advent of AI, issues relating around cyber security, use of applications to drive productivity and all of those. So today's student must be prepared, to be able to compete in a digital world. And so beyond the alumni community associations coming in to plug the gap, it's also important to continue to restate that these are government's responsibility, even though we know that government cannot shoulder all of the responsibility. But the more money government is getting with the removal of subsidy and all of that, we also need to see that it's trickling down to the funding of public sector institutions, especially the federal government colleges, as it were. So I expect USOSA to continue to be at the forefront of advocacy, to challenge government to do more, provide more resources to the management of the schools, and also beyond the government providing the resources, the alumni associations are all represented in the school-based management committees. So it's our responsibility also to make sure that through our positions in those committees, we ensure that the resources are being utilized effectively for the benefit of the students in our different alma mater.
Well spoken. That is speaking to power, truth to power. I appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. The government must also partake in delivering technology to the public sector schools. I understand that the president is a honorary alumni of the King's College, which is part of USOSA. So if he does listen to us, I'm sure he will take that into cognizance. Right. Yeah. This is the time you can ask any questions you want of the podcast, of TNN. It's not a one-way street. So any questions you want to ask, let us know.
Okay, first of all, I would like to commend you, and Shoma, your team has been doing a fantastic job with the Pro Unitate podcast. And I watch them month in, month out as you guys publish them. And so we are also making sure we circulate them within our alumni network to ensure that it's widely viewed by members and also even people who are not USOSAs. So that's a fantastic way of getting top leaders within the association to share perspectives, share experiences, have peer reviews, and as we engage with one another, we learn more from what everybody is doing in their different corners of USOSA. And then I don't know whether TNN is also the same company behind Alumni Hub.
Right.
Is it, or is it separate?
No. TNN is completely...
I think you're also involved with Alumni Hub, right?
Yes, TNN is
different.
Completely separate. TNN is acronym for the New Nigerian. It was birthed in 2020 during the COVID pandemic. The idea is to bridge the gap between diaspora and Nigeria. So what we do is we get the best in diaspora to interact with the best in Nigeria, to come up with solutions to help our people in Nigeria. TNN have invested in the health sector, the agricultural space, the green energy space. We're also involved in the educational sector. We do sponsor some schools for the less privileged. We have one in Abuja that we particularly cater to, and then we have outreaches within the local government areas of various states. As a matter of fact, a few USOSANs who have come on board TNN in way of attending our podcast have actually set up substantive projects in Nigeria. For example, Dr. Tayo Ikudaisi, who is a regenerative surgeon, went to Federal Government College Idoani, has a regenerative clinic in Lagos. I think it's on the island. There's another one who runs health initiatives within local schools in local communities. So that's where we are. I think part of our biggest investment is on trying to aid the less privileged in Nigeria. We now have we have what we call a Feed the Children campaign, which is done every December. Bringing children of a community together, giving a few of them scholarships, giving them a Christmas party with food and drinks, giving the girls of age sanitary pads in terms of hygiene. So that's what TNN does. With regards to Alumni Hub, again, the Alumni Hub was developed for the needs of alumni management. For example, we do know that one of the biggest challenges alumni associations have is in the collection of dues or in the harnessing of their data. This was what birthed Alumni Hub. USOSA is an aggregate of schools, like you said. It's 104 schools. Imagine the 104 or 110 schools on one platform. It gives you leverage. It gives you more networking, which is why the associations are founded, really, to be able to network. So it's a broader version of USOSA. The only difference is it has more functionalities like a marketplace, a jobs board. One announcement goes to everybody. That's why the current President General keeps harping on it at every opportunity he has. I understand there's an annual general meeting coming up in this month, in October already.
Yeah, in Abuja.
I'm sure you'll be there. I'm sure he will talk about it as well. I'm happy to let you know that we have at least 8 Unity schools who are fast onboarding. Schools include Bakori, where the Vice President General is from, Boko, which is your sister school.
Your sister college.
Your sister college. We've got Ecom, we've got IOI, we've got Ibilo. Recently, we started onboarding Ogbomoso as well. So there's an uptick. People are starting to use the platform, and I'm sure in time, like you said to me just before we came on air, that this is in your plans and you intend to follow up on it. Let me ask.
Definitely, it's an idea that we have bought.
Yes.
So immediately we are done with our global reunion. It's something we'll prioritize immediately after that. Excellent.
So the AGM is coming. I don't know what the theme of the AGM is. Where do you see USOSA in 4 years' time? What do you think we would have achieved? Again, this is only a prediction, but let's see how we can work towards it.
So USOSA is basically a prime vanguard for public sector advocacy in Nigeria. So in 4 or 5 years from now, I expect to see USOSA achieving greater impact in terms of shaping educational policy in Nigeria. I think PG under President General Michael Magaji, USOSA has hosted an educational conference. It needs to take a step forward, to make it a consistent issue, to draw policymakers together from time to time, have vigorous intellectual and thought leadership engagements, future of public sector education in Nigeria as a whole. So I would like to see USOSA make greater impact, as a body that shapes educational policy in Nigeria. That's where I think I want USOSA in the next 5 years.
Brilliant. Let's hope USOSA does get to that point, which, like you said, are now able to influence policy in terms of educational policies. Any final word to your alumni? Any final word to any USOSANs watching, especially the young ones? I think we've lost our guest. I'm sure he'll be back very shortly. As you are aware, he's giving us great value. He's told us the value of education. Education actually bridges the gap. So welcome back. Any inspirational words to USOSANs, to your alma mater? What do you want to tell them? Give them something of value to hold on to.
So for USOSANs, our association and our coalition is a movement with a cause. Let's stay committed. Nigeria is too great for us to leave it to flounder. The unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable, and we must continue to be leaders at every frontier where we have influence. USOSANs should be the first to project Nigeria in whatever space that they can, and continue to keep the hope alive that Nigeria is a nation destined for greatness. For all members of the FGCU OSA, that's Ugwolawo OSA Association, make sure that you are not told about the stories of the Benin Global Reunion.
I like that.
Prepare to be there. prepare to be there. And for our friends in Usosa and everywhere around the world, we'll be sending invitations to you, and we look forward to having all of you in Benin. Thank you, and God bless. And David, thank you for having me as well.
Excellent. You've all heard it. It's the Global President, Federal Government College, Ugwolawo All Students Association. He's giving us quite a bit of value. To listen to him, all you need to do is go to the Pro Unitate Podcast YouTube channel, or go to the New Nigerian YouTube channel. The links are below as usual. They will flash through the bottom of the screen. Please follow us when you go on there. Please put a like on the podcast. Please share. The more you do this, the more we are able to receive technology money to improve the product. The Pro Unitate podcast is an evolving platform. We hope that this time next year, when we do a part 2 with Uche now, we would have improved our resources and probably be able to do it face to face rather than using a Zoom platform. So click on the link, put a like, and subscribe. We just want to say thank you to Uche now. We want to say thank you to Madame. We obviously would have loved to hear a bit more about how your relationship evolved. We will hold that for part 2. We will see about bringing you on board again, and hold me to that. We should talk about Madame and the lovely children. I understand you have 2 beautiful children.
Yeah, it's my pleasure always. David, thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. I'll let you get on for the evening now. To the audience, thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Thank you, everybody.